Trigger warning before I get into this video. This movie deals with subject matters of suicide, depression, death, and grieving. So just wanted to offer a trigger warning before I start this review. But hey, let's get right into this video. Tom Hanks stars in and serves as one of the producers for a new film based on a Swedish film, which itself is based off a Swedish novel titled A Man Called Otto. This was a slight change from the original title, A Man Called Ove. I went into this movie completely blind. For starters, I didn't see much marketing for the film, and secondly, I've never gone into a Tom Hanks film and came out disappointed. He's one of my favorite actors, and I've yet to see a film he starred in that I didn't love. The film opens on this old man, Otto, played by Tom Hanks. He lives in a semi-gated community and is doing his early morning rounds for the community before leaving for work. We find out later in the film that he was the head of the homeowners association, but the HOA no longer exists. Otto appreciates order and finds his neighbors quite annoying. Reeling from the recent death of his wife, Otto attempts to be with her. After hanging a noose in his house, he is stopped when he sees new residents struggling to parallel park their trailer. He is annoyed by his new neighbors' inability to drive and properly display their parking permit, and that is where we are introduced to Marisol, Tommy, and their two children. And this is where our story truly begins. Certain details are kept from the audience to raise the drama and allow us to create a natural connection to the characters. One of my criticisms in my review of Megan was the lack of emotional attachment to certain characters. Those criticisms were not present in this film. Otto is presented as a bitter old man, and Marisol spends the film trying to pick apart the layers of Otto that caused him to be so bitter. He is more than willing to lend a helping hand to his neighbors he describes as idiots, and even develops a relationship with a feral cat. Other characters that play a role in the story are Anita and Ruben. Ruben suffers from some sort of paralysis that is not directly addressed in the film and can't speak and has limited movement. Otto and Ruben used to be good friends who had a falling out that is revealed later in the film. Anita is Ruben's wife and was good friends with Otto's late wife, Sonia. Tommy is another neighbor of Otto's that spends more of his time with Anita and Ruben and has become sort of a son to them, as their real son, Chris, lives in Japan and has not spoken with his parents in 10 years. Our ensemble cast rounds out with paper deliverer Malcolm, a trans youth that Otto develops a special connection to when he learns of his own previous connection to Malcolm. While the movie is titled A Man Called Otto, Otto doesn't hog the spotlight, and we get rich stories from each member of this community. The kind of character development that is missing from many modern films is evident here. And with the slow reveal of certain aspects of characters, it doesn't mess with the flow of the film, as we are allowed to learn about and fall in love with each character individually and naturally. The film has minimal settings. It's Otto's house, Marisol's and Tommy's house, Anita and Ruben's house, the streets in front of the community, and the garages behind the community. And then there's a few one-off sets for various one-off scenes. Recently retired, Otto spends most of his time looking after his community and interacting with his neighbors. So confining the story to this one street of housing helped focus the storytelling. In one scene, Otto takes Marisol to a bakery on Saturday at 1 o'clock because that was his routine with Sonia. We learn things about Sonia through his conversations that Otto has with his neighbors, but in scenes where he's alone, we see scenes with Sonia, and the cinematography makes it clear that we are entering Otto's mind as he remembers certain events in his and Sonia's life. From the first time they meet to her death. This slice-of-life movie wouldn't be complete without an antagonist, and that comes in the form of a construction company called Die and America, which Otto says sounds like Dying America. Die and America has torn down a forest that existed behind the Birchwood community. Otto points out the irony in tearing down the birches. As head of the HOA, Otto was consistently at odds with D&M, which leads to the dissolution of the HOA. Otto gets angry when an executive for D&M constantly drives around a gate in order to drive through Birchwood despite a sign posted stating no through traffic, as residents are the only ones allowed to use the road. D&M is a fierce agitator to the order that Otto fights so hard to protect. The climax of the film leaves the audience satisfied with the conclusion of both the A and the B plots of the film. This is only my second review of the year, but I'm already giving away my first 10 out of 10. Every character was cleverly written, their motives and backstories were concise and clear, the ending of the film fit in line with the character development, and the story is one that will leave a lasting impact on the audience. Some more of kind of off-script things that I also noticed about the film, kind of going back through, is that I appreciate that Otto is not like your typical bitter old man in a movie. He's not bigoted, he's just more annoyed with his neighbors. He's more misunderstood than just a bigoted old man that hates the world. And I really appreciate that side of it. Seeing Tom Hanks in a role like that to really get the scope of his acting ability is awesome. We don't really see Tom Hanks in roles like that. So again, to see that side of him was really unique, and I think it made for a great story. This is more targeted to older audiences for sure. What I've noticed, being probably the youngest person in the theater, which isn't a bad thing at all. Theaters have been trying so hard to get older audiences to come back, and I feel like this is the movie that's gonna do that. So I definitely recommend you go watch it. If you watch the trailer, it's the exact kind of movie you're expecting by watching the trailer. And that wraps up my review of what I would describe as the best movie of 2023. It's only the second movie that I have seen this year, but I feel like it's gonna have no trouble holding up as one of the best movies of the year. So if you like this review, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to see more reviews, more commentary videos like this. If there's a movie that you absolutely want me to watch and review, whatever it is, put it in the comments below and I will probably watch it. Other than that, thank you guys again so much for watching this video, and until next time, bye.